Hey there, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Laborers Local 663, Shelter Insurance Agents, Grant Baker in Aurora, and Sean Holman in Lockwood. Also presented by the Bank of Billings, Doak Propane, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, and Great Southern Bank. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Going to Mexico, Missouri, and visit with Mexico Bulldogs head coach Darren Pappas. And Coach, hey, thanks so much for your time today.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Coach, you guys 15 and 0 on the season up to this point. Just talk a little bit about how the season's gone so far for the Bulldogs.
We've got off to a hot start in the Montgomery County tournament, played a really good Fulton team, which is a conference rival for us in the championship game. We were fortunate enough to win that one. And then it just kind of, just started to keep staying on that roll. And defensively, we've gotten a ton better this year. We've been in some big time games, played St. Michael's out of Kansas City in the Norm Stewart Classic, and was a really good contest for us and performed really well on that big stage. Always great to play there. And then we had our own Gary Filbert Classic here, played Harrisburg, who's also ranked in Class 6. And we're fortunate enough to beat them here. And Gary Filbert means so much to the game of basketball, not only for the state, but for us and our program here at Mexico High School. And then, we keep winning. We had a really tough Macon tournament this past week where we matched up against Kirksville, another conference and district foe, and we're able to come back from being down 15 in the first half to come back and win that Macon tournament championship.
Coach, talk a little bit about, a season ago, 22-4, quarterfinalist, I believe. What did you lose off of that team due to graduation, and who are some of the guys stepping in and filling those roles right now based on what you've lost?
Yeah, I mean, last year was a big year for us. 22-4, made it to the quarterfinals, matched up against a really good Van Horn team, took it into overtime, had a tie at the end of regulation. We had really 4 seniors that have been with us, that graduated. Rafe Yeager, all conference, all district player, was huge for us. And then Jordan Mitchell was another guard, great defender, good guy that could attack the basket. And shoot the 3 as well. So those 2 guys were huge. And then off the bench, we had Dante Billups, who was a big force inside, not very tall, but a strong athletic post player, playing football collegiately right now and at Westminster. And then Ty Prince, another guard off the bench. He's playing baseball at Merrimack, big-time baseball guy. So those 4 guys were really tough for us to replace. But fortunate enough, we've had some guys step up and move into different roles. And we've had some guys that have moved into our district. We're fortunate enough that we're actually Mexico guys and left, and then they came back. Their families moved back to the area. One of those guys, Jordan Shelton, a big-time athletic guard for us, quick. He's got one of the quickest first steps off the dribble. He's producing at a high level for us right now. DJ Long's another one, only a sophomore. Got a huge skill set, really great court vision. So he's been big for us. And then we've had some guys from last year's quarterfinal team that have actually stepped up into starting roles and be very productive. Michael White's one that I can name. He's plays a stretch 4 for us, can step out and shoot it, really good off the dribble, great defender. Peyton Willer, another one, a really good shooter, perimeter shooter, and we're going to need that from him. So, different guys have stepped up from last year's team. And then, like I said, we've had a couple of guys move back to the district that were originally here and then left and then came back because of family, and things like that.
And again, visiting with Mexico Bulldogs head coach Darren Pappas. And Coach, a year ago, a quarterfinal team that was Class 5. And with the reclassifications, you guys drop into a Class 4 and you think, hey, 22-4, you move down a class. But you've got the likes of Vashon and Blair Oaks,
Right.
And right now that are, on the rankings are right in front of you. But you've got, New Badger Central, MICDS, Father Tolton. Talk about the challenges there, even though you drop down, but you're really, it's still loaded in Class 4.
Yeah, and we knew that once we saw that the reclassifications came out and where we fell as far as our districts were, designed by Misha, we knew that it's not going to be tough. But like we've been telling the boys, everything is going to be a challenge from here on out. So we want to take it one game at a time and just get better and better as the season progresses. And for us, having those big teams like Vashon, New Madrid County Central, those teams that are consistently good in your district or in your class, it's not going to be easy, and we know it's not going to be easy. So we just want to take it one game at a time, get better, hopefully defensively, offensively on both sides of the ball, and continue to take each challenge every single day, and hopefully rise up to that challenge or exceed that challenge each day.
Coach, talk a little bit about your assistant coaching staff. I see a Nunley on your and that's a big name down here in Southwest Missouri. It's at SBU, was All-American. Tell us a little bit about your staff, and is there a relation there?
I don't know if there's any relation there. Dion Nunley is my assistant, Mexico graduate, 1994, was a point guard on several teams that went to the state playoffs, and he got second in his senior year as a point guard there. Really good baseball player as well, and a slow pitch softball player. After college, he went to Missouri Valley and played basketball there. So he's a huge asset for me. He runs my defense. I let him totally take charge of the defense, and I just kind of run the offense. And then I have another assistant in Bill Gleason. He joined on last year. Last minute, we needed a freshman coach, and so he decided to join us, and has done a phenomenal job with the freshman team and developing those players and understanding our system offensively and defensively. So both of those guys are huge for our program and help me out tremendously, and do whatever we need and help those kids develop not only on the court but off the court as well.
And Coach, just a little bit about your background. Where did you go to high school and college, and how long have you been at Mexico, and where else have you been?
Yeah, so this is I'm homegrown right here. I was born and raised right here in Mexico, Missouri. Graduated in 2002 from Mexico. Played all 4 years here. Was fortunate enough to be on some very successful teams. My senior year, we had a really successful team. Was ranked number 1 in the state for a long time. Lost, unfortunately, in the overtime district championship game to Helias. I believe they got third that year at state with Jamal Tatum, an excellent point guard who went to Southern Illinois. So been around, basketball quite a bit. I've coached here my entire life. This is year number 15 overall. Number 5 as a head coach. Worked myself up through the ranks from middle school basketball up to freshman, JV, and then eventually getting the nod at the varsity level. So like I said, this is year 5 for me overall. Just really love being here in Mexico and in this community and their support for basketball. Not only is it a basketball community, it's a sports community as well. And they support their student athletes. So it's always good to give back, where you grew up, and it's exciting for me to see the success that we've had so far.
You bet. And Coach, you're about 2/3 of the way through your season right now. Maybe 8 or 10 regular season games remaining until you head into districts. What do you feel like you guys are doing right now? The Bulldogs are doing really well right now.
Right now, we're defending and playing unselfish basketball. I mean, that's the big part of it, is being unselfish, and we're really doing a good job of defending. Not only in the full court, but the half court as well. When we need to get stops, we're getting stops. And then we're using our athleticism. We feel like we got one of the deepest benches in the entire state. We can play anywhere from 10 to 12 guys every single night if we need to. And sometimes not even, lose a beat when we put in those guys off the bench. We're extremely talented and blessed with our athletes this year. Most of the guys, like I said, have been with us the entire time, so they understand the system that we're trying to run defensively and offensively. And so we're just trying to get better every single day. But those are the two main things that where we're at right now in the season.
Relatively healthy at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we've stayed pretty healthy. We've been fortunate enough, every once in a while we'll have 1 or 2 that may go down with the ankle, or, right now we got one out with the bruised ribs, but they'll be back. And, it's kind of that next man up mentality. When we have a deep bench like that, we're fortunate enough to say, all right, next one, he's got to step up and fill the void of that guy that's out for just a little bit.
You bet. Now you've got coming up, Kirksville, Macon at home here, your next two contests. Kind of filling the dots as your remaining schedule as you head into districts.
Yeah, so for us, those, like you said, two big ones. Friday night here, Kirksville comes to town. Not only is it another conference opponent, but also a district opponent as well. And Kirksville's ranked as well at Class 4, number 8. We've seen them twice. We've been fortunate enough. We dug ourselves early in both contests, and we're able to come back, one on the road at their place, and then, of course, on that neutral site at Macon High School on Saturday. Where we were down 15. It's not gonna be easy contest by no means. Coach Martin does a good job up there of coaching his guys. They have really good shooters and good post players. So we got to be ready to play on Friday night. And then Macon comes to town next week on Tuesday, I believe it is, and Macon another district opponent, very athletic. They're fairly young, so a lot of juniors and sophomores, a couple seniors sprinkled in there, but they're fairly young, very athletic. We know what they're capable of. We were fortunate enough to play them in their own tournament this past week as well. And then we go to Moberly on the road on Friday, which is a big conference opponent as well, district opponent as well. And then we have the Ramey Showcase in Harrisburg, which is going to be made up on Saturday, where we take on Class 6 Pattonville. Kelly Thames, everybody's familiar with him as the coach of Pattonville, and his son Kellen Thames, 6'6" guard, that's going to SLU next year. So that's not easy. It's not going to be easy from here on out, but we're fortunate enough that we get to play in these type of games and kind of get an idea of where we're at, and hopefully build on that as we move forward here, getting close to February and early March. You
bet. Well, Coach, Coach Pappas, we certainly appreciate you being part of the Missouri Sports Network. Interview number 250 since we launched here back in July, and it's always great to catch up with you. You hear the names, you see the scores, but you don't hardly ever get to visit. With the folks, and it's been a great opportunity for me to connect, and hopefully, down the road here this season as we go on, we'll get to dial it up again.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and thanks for all the coverage and everything you guys do on social media to get all everybody's programs promoted out there. We appreciate it tremendously.
You bet. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, you're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage, presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks. Keep it right here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com.